You enter the cave. The first step of human history. Hello, everyone. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you are standing at the very beginning of human history. The world is wild, untamed, and dangerous. You have no house, no technology, no safety. Only the earth, the sky, and your will to survive. Now open your eyes inside the darkness of a cave. The air is cold. The stone beneath your bare feet is rough and wet. Water drips from the ceiling, each drop echoing like a heartbeat. This cave is not comfortable, but it is your first home. Outside, the forest is alive with roaring animals. Inside, the cave is your only protection. Around you, your tribe huddles together. A tribe is your family, your people, the ones who share food and danger with you. You see children clinging to their mothers, hunters sharpening stones, elders whispering warnings. You feel their fear, but you also feel their strength. Together, you can survive what no one could face alone. The cave is more than rock. It is shelter, the thin wall between you and death. You listen to the storm outside, the growl of something, unseen, and you understand, without this shelter you would not last the night. In the center, a weak fire flickers. Smoke rises into the black ceiling, sharp in your nose. You stretch your hands toward the glow, and warmth spreads into your skin. For the first time, the night is not endless. Light pushes the shadows away. Earlier, your hunters went out to hunt, searching for animals with stones in their hands, waiting for the right moment to strike. Tonight, you eat what they bring. The taste of roasted meat, the sweetness of berries, the sound of laughter, these small things give you hope. Here in this cave, something begins. Not just survival, but the story of humanity. This is your story. You are part of the first chapter of mankind's journey. Transition. And soon you will discover something that changes everything. A spark, a flame, the first fire to light the endless night. You enter the cave, the first step of human history. You discover fire, light in the darkness. The night presses against the cave, black and endless. Your tribe sits close together, shivering. The cold bites your skin, and every sound outside feels like a threat. But tonight, you try something new. You pick up 2 stones and strike them together. Once, twice, again. At first, nothing. Then in the darkness, a tiny flash, a spark. It is small, quick, almost nothing, but your heart jumps. A spark is the beginning of fire, a bright breath of light. You lean close and blow gently. The spark glows, then catches. Suddenly a flame is born. The flame dances, alive, flickering yellow and red. You watch it grow bigger, brighter, stronger. Shadows leap across the cave walls, and your people stare in wonder. For the first time, the night steps back. You sit close, stretching your hands forward. Heat spreads into your skin, and you feel warmth. Warmth is more than just heat. It is safety. You close your eyes and let it wrap around you, pushing away the cold that has always ruled your nights. Soon, you place meat above the fire. The smell fills the cave, rich and new. You take a bite, and the taste is unlike anything before, soft, smoky, full of life. Cooked food is easier to chew, easier to share. Your tribe eats together, and the fire becomes more than light. It becomes family. Outside, wild animals stop at the edge of the glow. Their eyes watch from the darkness, but they do not come closer. The fire protects you. Children laugh. Elders tell stories. The flames crackle, carrying your voices high into the cave ceiling. One night, you break a branch and place it in the fire. The tip burns, glowing bright. In your hand, you now carry a torch. The torch lights your way as you step into the night. For the first time, you do not fear the darkness. You walk through it, fire guiding every step. You realize something powerful. You are no longer just surviving. You are shaping the world. Fire is not only warmth or light. It is freedom. It is control. It is the beginning of your power over nature itself. Transition. But fire is only the start. Soon you will shape stone and wood into tools. Real power you can hold in your hands. You create tools. Power in your hands. The fire glows softly behind you, but tonight your focus is on something new. In your hands you hold a rough stone. It is cold, heavy, and unbreakable, a piece of the earth itself. You scrape it against another rock again and again, until at last sharp edges form. When you press it against wood, the surface cuts away easily. Your people gasp. With this sharp stone, you have discovered a power your bare hands never had. This is more than a rock. This is your first tool. A tool is something that makes your work easier, stronger, faster. With this sharp edge, you cut meat, scrape wood, and defend yourself from danger. You feel the difference immediately. Your hands are no longer weak. They are powerful, but you do not stop there. You take a long branch, tie the sharpened stone to its end with animal skin, and lift it high. The first spear is born. The spear feels strong, balanced, alive in your grip. You step into the forest, heart pounding. A wild animal runs across your path. You throw with all your strength, and the spear flies like lightning, striking true. The tribe cheers, their voices echoing through the trees. Tonight, there is food, because of your hands, your courage, your spear. Back in the cave, the sound of stone against stone fills the air. Every strike is progress. You carve edges sharper, handles smoother. You begin to shape the world around you. To shape is to form something new, to give it purpose. You shape the stone into a knife. You shape the wood into handles. You shape your future into something greater than before. The tools you make are more than objects. They are promises. Promises that life will not always be a fight against hunger and cold. Promises that one day the world itself will bend to human hands. That night, as the firelight flickers on the cave walls, you look at the stones and spears beside you. They are silent, but they speak loudly. They tell you this: you are no longer helpless. You are becoming a maker, a hunter, a shaper of the earth. Transition. But soon you will discover another secret of survival, not just tools, but the power of living together in greater tribes. You form tribes, living together. The fire burns steadily, its warmth spreading across the circle of faces around you. You are not alone anymore. Beside you, people laugh softly, whisper stories, and pass pieces of roasted meat from hand to hand. The night is cold, but in this circle you feel safe. Alone, the world was too dangerous. Too many wild animals, too much hunger, too much fear. But here, together, survival feels possible. You see hunters returning with food. You see women carrying water from the river. You see children running through the grass, their laughter echoing into the night. This is more than just a group of people. This is your tribe. A tribe is a community, a family larger than blood. Together you share food, share danger, and share life. One night, the elder of the group raises his hand and the talking stops. His voice is rough but steady. He tells stories of great hunts, of spirits in the sky, of wisdom passed down through time. You sit silently, listening. Around the fire, stories are more than entertainment. They are teaching, memory, and culture. For the first time, you feel that your life is part of something bigger, something that will continue even after you are gone. The next morning, your leader stands tall. A leader is the person who guides the tribe. "We move north," he says. "The river is drying here. The animals have gone." You watch as the tribe gathers their few belongings, skins, tools, spears, and begins the long walk. You feel the power of unity. Alone, you would never survive such a journey. Together, step by step, you cross the harsh land. Days later, the group stops near a wide plain filled with tall grass. The hunters fan out, spears in hand. The tribe surrounds a great animal, moving like one body, one mind. You hold your spear tightly and run with the others. Your heart races, your breath burns, but you are not afraid. Together, the tribe brings the animal down. The cheer rises like thunder. Tonight, no one will be hungry. At night, the food is divided. The strong share with the weak. The young share with the old. To share is to give part of something to others. You share your portion with a child sitting near you. His smile is small, but it lights something inside your chest. For the first time, you understand the meaning of care. The tribe is more than safety. It is also your family. Family are the people who hold you close, who protect you, who give you a place in the world. Around you, you see brothers, sisters, parents, children, even if not all are related by blood. The firelight makes every face familiar, every laugh important. In this moment, you belong. Sometimes there are disagreements. One hunter says the group should follow the river. Another argues to stay near the forest. Voices grow loud, tempers flare. But the leader raises his hand and slowly silence returns. The tribe learns that strength comes not from anger, but from unity. Together you can face storms, hunger, and fear. Divided you will fall, and so you travel across plains and mountains, through forests and rivers. Every night, the fire burns. Every night, the voices rise. In these voices, you hear the first heartbeat of human society, shared life, shared stories, shared dreams. To live together is not always easy. Sometimes the nights are long, sometimes the hunts are empty. But each morning, when you wake to the sound of laughter and footsteps, you know you are stronger than yesterday. Together, you carry the weight of survival. Together, you shape the future of humanity. Transition. But moving from place to place is still hard. Each journey is a risk. Deep in your heart, you begin to dream of something new, a life where food grows in one place, where you no longer have to wander endlessly. That dream will lead you to your next great step, farming. You plant seeds. The birth of farming. The sun is warm on your back as you kneel down in the dirt. In your hand, you hold something small, something almost invisible. A seed. A seed is the beginning of a plant. You press it carefully into the soil, cover it with earth, and wait. At first, nothing happens. Days pass, the wind blows, the rain falls, and the sun shines. Then, one morning, you see it. A tiny green shoot rising from the ground. You stare in wonder. For the first time, food grows from the earth because of you. Before this moment, life was always moving. You chased animals across the plains. You wandered far to find berries and roots. Every day was uncertain. But now, you see something new. The seed you planted is alive. It will grow taller. It will give food. For the first time, you feel control over nature. Soon, you and your tribe plant more seeds. You press them deep into the soil, the rich earth where plants grow. Soil feels cool and soft under your hands. You pat it down, knowing that life is hidden beneath the surface. Grow, you whisper, as if your words could help the plants rise. And slowly, they do, as weeks turn into months. The fields around you change. Small green shoots become tall stalks. Stalks become golden crops. To grow means to become bigger, to change over time. You watch your plants grow under the sun, and your heart grows with them. You no longer run after food. Food waits for you. When the season changes, the great day arrives, the harvest. Harvest is the time when you collect crops. The tribe gathers together in the fields, cutting, gathering, filling baskets with golden grain. You lift your basket high, smiling as laughter and songs rise in the air. Tonight, there will be food for everyone. Tonight, no one will sleep hungry. Around the fire, people dance, celebrating the harvest. Children run through the tall grasses, holding handfuls of grain. Elders smile, remembering the days when survival was harder. You look at the fields, shining under the moonlight, and you understand. This is not only survival. This is more. This is life becoming stable, steady, and full of hope. With farming, you no longer move from place to place. You stay. The fields keep you here. Slowly, people gather around the crops. Families build small shelters near the farmland. Smoke rises from cooking fires, laughter fills the air, and life feels less dangerous. The days are still hard. Storms may come, crops may fail, but the rhythm of farming gives you strength. One evening, you walk along the edge of the field, watching the plants sway gently in the wind. You remember the old days of endless wandering, of hunger, of fear. Now, you feel something new in your chest. Peace. You know where your next meal will come from. You know your children will eat tomorrow. Farming changes everything. It gives you food. It gives you time. It gives you community. You are no longer only surviving. You are beginning to thrive. Transition. But farming is only the beginning. Staying. In one place creates something even bigger. Families gather into groups. Groups turn into villages. And villages soon grow into the first true homes of human society. You build villages. The first homes. You no longer wander from place to place. The time of chasing animals and searching for berries is fading. Now your hands build something that will last. You lift a stone, a hard piece of earth, and place it carefully on another. You mix mud, pressing it into shape, until the wall begins to rise. Slowly, a new structure stands before you. It is not just a shelter. It is your first home, a place that belongs to you. Around you, others are doing the same. One family builds a wall of stones, another shapes bricks from the soil. Soon the open land is no longer empty. Smoke rises into the sky from cooking fires. Children run barefoot along the new paths, their laughter echoing between the houses. Dogs bark as they chase each other near the doorways. From every corner, you hear the rhythm of life. Hammers striking, voices calling, fires crackling. This is the beginning of your village. A village is a group of homes built together, and here, life feels different. You no longer survive alone. You wake each morning to the sound of footsteps outside, to the smell of food cooking nearby, to the comfort of people living close. The dangers of the wild still exist, but together, you are stronger. You step outside and see families gathered. Neighbors share grain, repair walls, and watch over one another's children. A neighbor is someone who lives close to you, and now, you are surrounded by many. You borrow a tool from one house, you share water with another, and slowly, connections grow. As the sun sets, you walk along the narrow paths. The houses glow with firelight. You hear soft voices from inside, the sound of stories being told, the rhythm of songs drifting into the night. The air is calm, filled with the quiet music of human life. For the first time, you feel the deep comfort of staying in one place. Your home is more than walls. It is safety from the storm. It is warmth against the cold. It is a place where you can rest, dream, and know you belong. The village is more than survival. It is community, trust, and the beginning of society. You sit outside under the stars. The fires of the village flicker all around you, glowing like tiny suns. You breathe deeply, knowing you are part of something greater. This is no longer just survival. This is the creation of a new way of living, the first step toward civilization. Transition. Villages grow larger, and as people gather closer, new ideas are born. Trade begins, art appears, and slowly the first cities rise from the earth. You create civilizations, laws, and cities. You stand at the edge of something new. In front of you, tall walls rise, built from stone and brick, strong enough to protect thousands of people inside. A heavy wooden gate opens, and you take your first steps into a city. A city is a large place where many people live together, and here, life feels bigger, louder, and more alive than anything you have ever known. The streets are crowded. You hear the shouts of traders calling out their prices in the busy market. A market is a place where people buy and sell. Grain, cloth, pots, and animals change hands quickly, and the sound of bargaining fills the air. Children run between the stalls, chasing each other while women carry baskets of food on their heads. Men pull carts heavy with goods, and the smell of bread, meat, and smoke mixes in the air. You walk deeper into the city. On one side, you see a grand temple, its tall pillars reaching toward the sky. A temple is a place of worship, and here, people gather to pray to their gods. The chants of priests echo through the walls, and you feel the power of belief surrounding you. On the other side, a great palace shines with decorations, the home of the king who rules this city. Guards stand tall, their spears shining in the sunlight, reminding you of the order that now shapes human life. For the first time, you see laws. Laws are rules for people to follow. They are written on heavy stone tablets, carved with symbols. You run your fingers across the cold surface, tracing the words. The laws say who owns land, who must pay, and what happens when someone steals. These rules are not only for one family or one tribe, they are for everyone. You realize that laws make life fair, and they allow so many people to live together without chaos. Around you, civilization grows in every corner. Writers sit with clay tablets, pressing marks that carry meaning. This is the birth of writing. Artists carve statues of gods and kings, their faces frozen forever in stone. Musicians play flutes and drums, filling the streets with rhythm. Children learn from teachers who speak of stars, rivers, and the stories of the past. You feel that survival is no longer the only goal. Now, people live for knowledge, beauty, and progress. At night, the city glows with firelight. Families eat together inside their homes. Friends gather in the open squares, telling stories and laughing. From the temple, songs rise into the dark sky. You walk slowly through the narrow streets, your feet brushing against the worn stones. You breathe in the air of the city, heavy with smoke, food, and life. You stop at a fountain where water flows from a carved stone lion. Children splash in the cool water while women fill their clay pots. Soldiers march past, their armor shining. A storyteller begins to speak to the crowd, and everyone gathers, listening to tales of heroes and gods. You realize that a city is more than walls, more than markets, more than houses. It is a living heart, beating with the lives of thousands of people together. Civilization gives you something new, order, but also creativity. You hear poems recited in the temple. You see patterns painted on pottery. You hear the sound of hammers, building new houses, while others carve statues of gods. Every corner of the city hums with energy, each person playing a part in something greater than themselves. Standing in the square, you look around and understand. Humanity has taken another great step. You no longer fear the wild every day. You no longer wander endlessly. You belong to something larger, a civilization. Transition. But cities are not alone. Beyond the walls, other lands rise, other cities grow. Soon, people will connect across rivers, deserts, and seas. Trade and travel will link civilizations together, carrying ideas, goods, and dreams farther than ever before. You trade and travel. Connecting worlds, you stand on a wooden dock, the salty air filling your lungs. In front of you, a boat waits, its wooden body creaking against the waves. A boat is a small ship that carries people and goods across water. You climb aboard, feeling the rough ropes under your hands. As the wind fills the white sails, the boat begins to move. You watch the land slowly disappear behind you. The open sea stretches endlessly ahead, and you feel the thrill of something new, connection beyond your own home. Soon, trade begins. Trade means giving something to get something. Your village gives grain, heavy sacks carried onto ships and carts. In return, you receive treasures your people have never seen before, shining gold, soft cloth, and spices that fill the air with strange, rich smells. You hold a piece of cinnamon to your nose, its warm scent unlike anything you have ever known. You realize trade does more than move goods. It carries pieces of other worlds into your hands. You travel farther. Travel means to go from one place to another. On the sea, your boat glides across rolling waves, carrying you toward distant lands. On land, great roads stretch over deserts and mountains. The most famous road is the Silk Road, where caravans of camels walk slowly under the hot sun, carrying treasures across endless sands. You walk beside them, the desert wind pressing against your skin, your feet sinking into golden dunes. At a campfire one night, you sit with travelers from faraway places. One offers you food cooked with spices you have never tasted. The flavor burns, yet delights you. Another hands you clothes made of silk. Silk is soft, shining cloth from China. You run your fingers over it, amazed by its smoothness, imagining the distant hands that wove it. You listen to their stories, tales of mountains higher than clouds, rivers wider than anything you have seen, and cities filled with voices speaking, in languages you do not yet understand. Every journey teaches you something new. Roads bring more than treasures. They carry ideas. You hear words that are not from your tongue, but slowly you learn them. You taste fruits that never grew in your fields. You hear music played on strange instruments, each note carrying the spirit of another land. The world is no longer small and closed. It is open, wide, and alive. In the busy marketplace of a great port city, you walk among strangers who no longer feel strange. People shout in many voices. Spices pile in colorful mountains, red pepper, yellow saffron, brown cinnamon. Baskets overflow with silk, pottery, gold, and glass. You touch a carved cup, knowing it was made by hands you will never meet. Yet through trade, you and those hands are connected. The more you travel, the more you understand. You are not alone. Humanity is not a single tribe, not one city, not one kingdom. With every journey, you see that people across deserts, rivers, and seas share the same dreams of safety, food, family, and meaning. You feel smaller, but also stronger, because you belong to something vast, a world that is beginning to come together. At night, as your boat sails back across the waves, you sit quietly, watching stars reflect on the water. You close your eyes and feel the boat rise and fall. With every movement, you know the truth. Trade and travel are more than movement. They are bridges. They turn strangers into neighbors, faraway lands into part of your story. Transition. And with this connection, with the meeting of worlds, comes something even greater. People begin to ask deeper questions about life, the stars, and the soul itself. Curiosity grows, and soon the search for wisdom begins. You seek wisdom, philosophy, and knowledge. You sit beneath the shade of a wide tree. The air is calm, and the world around you feels quiet. A teacher sits across from you. His eyes are calm, but his words are heavy with meaning. He asks, "What is truth? What is justice? Why do we live?" The questions are simple, yet they shake your heart. For the first time, you are not only thinking about survival, you are thinking about life itself. The teacher speaks of wisdom. Wisdom means deep knowledge about life. You seek wisdom when you look beyond food and shelter and begin to ask about meaning. You hear his words, and they stay with you long after the sun sets. You walk home, but inside your mind, the questions continue. In Greece, you see philosophers walking slowly through gardens. They speak with students in open spaces, their voices echoing under stone columns. One asks about truth. Truth means what is real. You look at the ground beneath your feet, solid and steady, and you wonder, is truth always this clear, or can it be hidden? You feel the power of thought shaping the world around you. In India, you sit beside a quiet river. Sages meditate in silence, their eyes closed, their breaths deep. They search not outside, but within. Their wisdom flows like the water, calm and steady, teaching balance between body, mind, and soul. You close your eyes, too, listening to the sound of flowing water and feel your spirit rest. In China, you sit in a courtyard where a teacher speaks of harmony and balance. He tells you that life is like the seasons, sometimes hot, sometimes cold, but always moving in cycles. He explains that families, villages, and kingdoms must live in balance, just as nature does. You feel the truth of his words when you watch the sun rise, steady and patient, promising another day. Knowledge spreads beyond teachers. You enter a library, a place with many books. In the cool silence, you run your hand along shelves filled with scrolls and tablets. The smell of old ink fills the air. You open one scroll and see symbols carefully written by another hand long ago. You imagine the person who wrote it, their thoughts reaching you across centuries. A library connects minds through time. It makes you part of a conversation bigger than yourself. Philosophy also teaches you about justice. Justice means fairness. You sit in a court, listening as leaders argue about laws. You hear voices asking, what is fair? What is right? You realize justice is not only about power, it is about giving each person a place and a voice. You imagine societies shaped by these ideas, guided by fairness instead of fear. Slowly, you understand that wisdom is not one thing, but many. It is spoken in markets and palaces, whispered beside rivers, written in scrolls, and taught under trees. Wisdom is not only for teachers, it belongs to you. When you think, question, and listen, you also carry the light of wisdom. At night, you lie beneath the stars, your mind full of questions. You no longer feel small. You feel part of something vast, a web of ideas that crosses lands and ages. You are not just surviving. You are thinking, seeking, and dreaming. Transition. Yet you soon see that ideas alone cannot hold the world together. Kings rise, armies march, and empires shape the land with power and war. The journey of humanity moves forward, and you must walk into it. You walk in empires, rise and fall. You march through the gates of a great empire. The gates are tall and strong, guarded by soldiers whose armor shines in the sun. Above you, banners wave proudly, painted with the symbols of power. The sound of drums fills the air, steady and loud as you step inside. For the first time, you see what it means to live inside an empire, and it feels larger than life. You walk along wide stone roads. Traders shout in the market, offering spices, cloth, and coins from faraway lands. Smoke rises from cooking fires, the smell of roasted meat filling the air. Children run between the stalls, while musicians play songs that echo through the busy streets. The empire is alive, full of voices, color, and movement. At the heart of the city, you enter a palace. The walls are covered in gold and carvings of past victories. At the far end of the hall, high above the crowd, the ruler sits on a golden throne, the chair of a king or queen. Around him, nobles bow low, soldiers stand guard, and advisors whisper into his ear. Every decision made here shapes the lives of thousands. You feel the weight of power pressing down, and you know this is no ordinary place. Beyond the palace, you see great monuments, large buildings created to remember something. In Rome, you walk through the Colosseum, hearing the roar of crowds, as gladiators fight in the arena. In Egypt, you stand before the pyramids, their sharp edges rising against the desert sky. In China, you walk along the Great Wall, stretching endlessly across mountains and valleys. Each stone, each wall, each tower tells the story of human strength, ambition, and will. But behind the beauty lies another truth. Empires are not only built on peace, they are built on war. You hear the clash of swords on battlefields, the cries of soldiers, and the fall of cities under fire. Smoke rises from burning homes, rivers run dark with battle, empires rise with courage and fall with weakness. One day you see banners raised high in victory, the next you see those same banners trampled in the dust. You learn that even the strongest empire cannot last forever. Some collapse under their own weight. Others fall to enemies. Rulers grow weak, people grow restless, and the walls that once protected crumble to the ground. Yet something always remains. Every empire leaves behind its legacy. What is left? Behind. Roads, bridges, laws, art, music, inventions, all carried forward into the future. You walk among ruins where once kings ruled. The streets are empty now, but the stones whisper stories. You touch the broken walls, and you feel the lives of those who lived before you. Though the empire is gone, its knowledge lives inside you. Its legacy is part of your journey. As you sit on the edge of a fallen city wall, the stars shine above you. You realize that history is more than survival. It is also about power, ambition, and the dream of leaving something behind. Empires rise and empires fall, but humanity keeps moving forward. You discover science. Curiosity of the stars, you stand under the night sky. Darkness stretches around you, but above, the stars shine like silver fire. You tilt your head back and feel small, yet curious. You whisper to yourself, what are they? Why do they shine? Are they candles of the gods? Or are they something more? For the first time, you want more than stories. You want answers. You begin to watch the stars night after night. You see patterns, shapes, and movements. Slowly, you understand that the sky is not random. It has order. You draw maps of constellations, connecting stars into animals and heroes. The more you watch, the more you realize the world itself can be studied, measured, and explained. In Greece, you walk with scholars who speak of the earth not as a mystery but as a sphere. They measure shadows to understand its size. You sit beside them, feeling the warmth of the sun, as they place sticks into the ground, watching how the shadow moves. From this, they begin to learn that the earth is round, not flat. You feel amazed, because knowledge is breaking the limits of imagination. You travel east to Arabia, where astronomers climb high towers. They hold polished brass instruments and map the sky with careful eyes. You hear them whisper the names of stars, writing them down for future generations. You see their great libraries filled with scrolls and books. Candles flicker on wooden tables, and the air smells of ink. You lean closer to the parchment and feel the hunger for knowledge grow stronger inside you. In China, you watch inventors at work. They press wet pulp into thin sheets, and suddenly paper is created. A simple thing that will change the world forever. You touch its soft surface, amazed at how light it feels in your hand. With paper, thoughts can travel farther than voices. You see compasses made from a small piece of metal that points north. With them, travelers can cross oceans without fear of being lost. Curiosity grows bolder. You see powders mixed together, catching fire and bursting into smoke and light. Gunpowder is born, both a tool of wonder and danger. You walk into a quiet room where herbs boil in clay pots. Healers crush leaves, mix roots, and pour hot water over them. The smell is sharp and earthy. Medicine is growing, and for the first time, sickness is not only fate, it is something people can fight. You step into an ancient study. Shelves rise high, filled with scrolls. The air smells of dust, parchment, and ink. You hear the scratching of quills as scholars bend over their desks. Some write about numbers, others about stars, others about the human body. Knowledge is flowing from hand to hand, from mind to mind, from generation to generation. The world no longer feels untouchable. Once it was full of mysteries, now it begins to open. You feel a new power rising inside you, not the power of swords or kings, but the power of knowledge. Knowledge explains why the stars shine, why the earth moves, why sickness spreads, and how it can be healed. You step outside again into the night. The sky above is the same, but you are not the same. Where once you only wondered, now you begin to understand. With science, you feel the universe speaking to you, and for the first time you realize discovery is endless. You build machines, the industrial age. You hear the grinding sound of iron wheels turning. The air is thick with smoke, rising from tall chimneys that stretch into the sky. The industrial age has begun, and you are standing in the middle of it. You walk toward a massive factory. Its walls are dark with soot, its windows glowing with the orange light of furnaces. Inside, machines roar like giants. Their metal arms pound, press, and cut, never stopping, never sleeping. The ground shakes under your feet. The world you once knew, a world of hand tools and slow days, is changing into something new, something louder, faster, and endless. You step onto a steam train. With a hiss and a whistle, the engine pulls forward. The wheels scream against the tracks, and suddenly you are moving across the land faster than ever before. Villages and fields blur past the window. For the first time, distance shrinks. The far away feels close. You feel the thrill of speed, the rush of invention carrying you forward into the future. At night, you enter a room and turn a small switch. Instantly, the darkness breaks. A bright, steady light fills the space. Electricity flows through wires, invisible yet powerful. You no longer depend only on fire or candles. Light is at your command. Power is in your hands. You walk through a city street. It is alive with sound. Horses pulling carts, whistles from trains, vendors calling out, children shouting, machines hammering in workshops. The air smells of coal and iron. The rhythm of life has changed. The day no longer follows. Only the sun, it follows the clock. Time itself feels different. You see workers hurrying into factories at dawn. Their faces are tired, their hands rough, but their work builds this new world. Machines take over the heavy labor, but behind every machine is a person, turning, fixing, moving. You feel the weight of progress. The old ways fade, and a new life begins. The industrial age gives you power. It gives you speed, light, and machines that can do more than human hands ever could. Yet you also sense its challenge. The smoke fills your lungs. The noise fills your ears. Life is faster, but also harder. You wonder if humanity can keep pace with the rhythm of industry. Still, as you stand there looking at the trains, the factories, and the glowing lamps, you know one thing for certain. The world will never be the same again. You fly beyond Earth. The modern age, you stand on a long runway, the wind rushing past your face. Before you, a great machine waits. Its body is silver, its wings stretched wide like a giant bird made of metal. The engines roar, shaking the ground. With a sudden force, it moves forward, faster and faster, until the wheels leave the earth. Your heart beats as the ground falls away beneath you. For the first time, you are flying. You look out the window and see rivers, mountains, and cities. Growing smaller, clouds rise around you like floating islands. The air is clear and thin. What once took months of walking or sailing now takes only hours. The world itself feels closer, connected by flight. But humanity does not stop here. You put on a heavy, white suit. Your body feels stiff inside it, but your spirit feels light. A helmet covers your head and oxygen flows into your lungs. You climb into a rocket taller than any building you have seen. The countdown begins. 10, 9, 8. The ground shakes. Flames burst out like a storm of fire. With a deafening roar, the rocket rises. You are pressed back into your seat. The sky outside changes from blue to black. You have left Earth behind. Through the window, you see something no human eyes once thought possible. Below you floats Earth, shining blue and green against the darkness of space. Its oceans swirl, its clouds drift, its lands spread like a map. You realize how small, how fragile, and how beautiful your world is. The rocket carries you farther. You land on the surface of the moon. The ground is gray, the sky is empty, and silence surrounds you. Each step you take leaves a mark in the dust, a footprint that may stay for thousands of years. You look back, and there it is, the Earth, glowing in the distance, a tiny ball of light in the endless dark. You know in this moment that humanity has broken its limits. No longer are you tied only to soil, water, and sky. You are now a traveler of the universe. The dream of flight has become the reality of space. The modern age has given you wings, rockets, and the courage to go beyond. But it has also given you something more, the vision to see Earth not as many nations but as one home, floating in space, shared by all. You connect with technology. Computers and AI, you sit at a desk. Before you is a box with a screen. At first it looks cold and silent, but then, with a press of a button, the screen wakes up. It glows with light, colors, words, and pictures. For the first time, you see information appear not on paper, not on stone, but inside this glowing window. The computer becomes your new tool. You place your hands on the keyboard, your fingers tap the keys and letters dance across the screen. A message forms. You press another button and instantly the message flies across the world. In seconds, another person far away can see what you wrote. Distance no longer controls you. Time no longer holds you back. The computer is not only a tool of work, it becomes a tool of learning, of play, of dreams. You draw shapes, listen to music, watch moving pictures, and store memories inside this machine. What once needed libraries of scrolls now fits inside a single box. Knowledge is no longer far. It is here, at your fingertips. But technology does not stop there. You hold a small device in your hand. It fits in your pocket. It rings, it buzzes, it glows. This is your phone, but it is more than a phone. It is your map, your book, your letter, your camera, your clock, your window to the world. You press its screen, and with one touch, you connect to anyone, anywhere. Look around. You see robots in factories, their arms moving with perfect rhythm. They build cars, carry boxes, and never grow tired. In the sky above, satellites circle the Earth. They send signals, guide ships, predict weather, and connect voices across oceans. And then comes something even greater, artificial intelligence. It is not a body of metal, but a mind inside a machine. It learns from patterns, remembers details, and helps you solve problems. It translates languages, guides drivers, recommends music, even answers questions. Technology is no longer only outside of you. It begins to think, to respond, to feel almost alive. Your daily life changes. You no longer wait weeks for news. It comes in seconds. You no longer walk miles to learn. Lessons arrive on your screen. You no longer feel alone. With one call, one message, one video, the world is with you. The streets around you change. People walk with glowing screens in their hands. Voices float through small speakers. Images cross the air through invisible wires. The world feels both bigger and smaller, so full of voices, pictures, and ideas, yet so close that it all fits inside your pocket. You realize you live in a time where knowledge is endless and connection is instant. Technology gives you power, but also asks you questions. How will you use it? How will you keep it safe? Will machines serve you, or will you serve them? The glow of your screen reflects in your eyes. The rhythm of machines beats in your ears. The future stands open before you. You reflect on your journey. Past, present, future. You sit quietly. The world around you is still, but inside your mind, thousands of voices whisper. They are the voices of the past, the hunters who shared the first caves with you, the farmers who planted seeds with you, the builders who raised walls beside you, the dreamers who looked at the stars with you. Every step, every fire, every word, every invention lives inside you. You remember the beginning. The cave was dark, cold, and filled with danger. Yet, you survived. You learned to light fire, and in that fire you saw hope. You shaped stones into tools. You hunted, you gathered, you lived not alone, but together in tribes. You shared food, laughter, and fear. The first heartbeat of human society began around the firelight. Then you moved forward. You pressed seeds into the soil. You built homes with stone and mud. You walked through the first villages, where smoke rose from small fires and children played in the dirt paths. You felt safety for the first time, knowing you belonged somewhere, knowing you could stay. Your journey did not stop. You entered cities with walls that touched the sky. You walked through markets filled with voices, colors, and smells. You saw temples rise for gods, palaces for kings, and laws carved into stone. Civilization gave you order. It gave you art, music, and knowledge. It gave you pride. Still, you traveled farther. You rode boats across seas. You crossed deserts on camels. You tasted spices from distant lands. You learned new languages, shared stories, and discovered wisdom from teachers under trees, sages, by rivers and philosophers in gardens. You marched with empires, saw banners fly and heard swords clash. You watched greatness rise and crumble into dust. Empires left monuments, memories, and legacies that carried you into the future. And then curiosity pulled you higher. You gazed at the stars, measured the earth, mapped the heavens, and wrote knowledge into scrolls. Science unlocked mysteries, and inventions opened doors. Machines roared, trains raced, and electricity filled the air. The rhythm of industry changed your heartbeat. Still, you rose higher. You flew in metal birds. You stepped onto the moon. You looked back at Earth, small and fragile, floating in silence. For the first time, you saw your home not as endless, but as precious. And then came the screen. The computer lit up before your eyes. You typed words that crossed oceans in seconds. You held a small phone that connected you to the world. You saw robots move, satellites circle, and artificial intelligence think. The glow of technology wrapped itself around your life. Now, here you are. You sit in the present, but you carry the past. You feel the cave under your feet, the fire in your hands, the stone in your grip, The seeds in your soil, the cities at your back, the stars above your head, and the screen before your eyes. All of history beats inside your chest. But when you look ahead, you see something different. You see an empty page. The future is not written. It waits for you. It waits for your ideas, your choices, your courage. You hold the pen. You decide where the road will go. You understand now. Human history is not only about the past. It is about you, here, now, and tomorrow. And so, as you rise from your seat and take a step forward, you know the journey never truly ends. The story continues with you.